What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I have an awesome boot review for you guys today. It's a boot that isn't available outside of Japan. All right, fam, so you may have seen this online, but this is the Puma King Mirai, spelled M-I-R-A-I, and it was a boot that was released back in April of this year of 2022 in Japan only. It was limited to, I think, only a couple thousand pairs, and it's a boot that I think the Japanese market was sort of testing out the waters with. Puma Japan decided to release this model, has really premium K leather on it, and some speed mesh, which we saw back on Puma, the Puma Evo Power Vigor, I believe, had this speed mesh. And so I'm really excited to see what these boots feel like. They have an MG sole plate, or HG, excuse me, so hard ground sole plate, which is renowned for being both really kind of neutral in the way that it digs into the ground, but it's also, because it's an HG sole plate, it lasts a long time. So I'm really excited for durability tests on this boot. We'll see what sizing is like. Puma sometimes runs like a quarter size long for me for some weird reason, including especially the futures. So we'll see if these fit true to size, and if so, then maybe I'll do some tests and do a 1 month review of these. But here we go, let's jump straight into the unboxing of the Puma King Mirai. Standard Puma box, just basic red with the Puma logo here. It's in my usual size 9 US, which for Puma is a UK 8, and you've got Puma logoing on each side of the box, plus a size chart there, so it shows you kind of all the different sizing based on UK kids, like adult sizes, men's sizes, women's sizes, Euro sizes, and Japanese sizes. So that's pretty cool. Let's just go straight into the unboxing. Here we go. All right, so just basic white paper, typical for a Puma box. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so these are in a white and black accent colorway. Very, very cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, so first impressions really quick. This K leather up here is insanely soft, like crazy. You can see how the shine on it, super premium, really nice speed mesh midfoot there. So very, very cool. It does include the nano grip technology insert from the Puma brand that features on all the modern models. So we'll get these out of the box and we'll go from there. Very impressed with the leather quality straight out of the box. No string bag or anything, typical for most or all Puma models. But there you go. This is the Puma King Mirai in the HG model. We'll go over some of the tech specs now. So this is the HG sole plate, which stands for hard ground. I'm not really sure what differentiates this from something like an AG model. That being said, this is a Puma King. This is supposedly a much better, and it's a little bit more expensive version of the King Platinum 21, which is really terrible. It's a really poor fitting boot. I'm not gonna review it because it doesn't even deserve a video, to be honest. But the HG model is it's got a little bit of snapback, which is nice. It's very sturdy through this midfoot area, and it does have a little bit of curvature to, if you can see there, a little bit of roundness right in this area here. And my guess is that's just to allow for a little more structure on HG pitches, hard ground pitches. So whether that's an older turf pitch or whether that's a dirt pitch, I guess you could wear it on, this boot is suitable for those types of pitches. You could obviously wear this on a regular grass pitch as well, but that's just something to keep in mind. This is the K leather and speed mesh. So the K leather features just in this forefoot area. It is super, super premium. I'm gonna take the little piece of material out here, throw those back. Okay, so there you go. So it is so incredibly soft. I mean, this is definitely softer than a Tiempo out of the box. This reminds me most of the 442 upper. So this K leather, especially the gold ones that I have, those kangaroo leather ones, this is such a buttery soft upper. That is super nice. So very excited to feel what this feels like on a ball, but also just on feet as well. These are made, the reason they were made in Japan is because this model is specifically a little bit wider, which we'll talk about in a little bit. This is the speed mesh midfoot, which feels really nice. It's very thin, it's a synthetic-y material, and yeah, The heel liner is like a kind of half faux leather, it looks like. There's like a black piece of leather, which you can see here. Very, very simple, nothing to write home about. There's not much padding at all, and then you can feel how solid that heel counter is right in this area here. Puma logoing on the back, and other than that, it's a very simple design, the very typical Puma kind of big swoosh right there, which is awesome. And then it's got this really nice logoing here that says Puma King PO Japan, K-leather, speed mesh, and nano grip right in that area here. So this is a very cool football boot. I'm very curious about this one. I've only seen 1 or 2 reviews up online of this boot, and they were available at Unisport, so I picked up a pair. They were able to ship to the US really quickly, which was awesome. And yeah, they're also kind of known for being suitable for wider feet, and the reason being is because I guess typically in Asia, you've got people with flatter and wider feet, and so they cater boots that are made in Japan or made in Korea or China, anything there, to be much wider and flatter. And so I'm hoping that because that's my foot profile, it fits my foot much better than the normal Puma King 21. The Puma King Platinum, the first edition, I thought was actually a really good football boot. It's the one that Neymar kind of debuted, which everyone was really confused about, but that's the boot he debuted. And that boot was actually really good. It fit me well. I never ended up buying a pair to keep, but I did try on several in store and tried a broken in version. But this is pretty much a different model because that one was fully leather and then it had like a knit material in the lacing area, whereas this is a leather forefoot and then this speed mesh midfoot and heel area, which I think is really interesting. There's a leather traditional tongue construction here, and as far as weight goes, they don't feel super, super light, but they also don't feel super heavy. My guess is they're somewhere in the 220, I think they're about 220 grams, which is pretty light for a boot of this style, but 215, 220 grams in the 9US is pretty decent for a sort of traditional leather forefoot type boot. I'm not actually sure what this boot would compare to other than its kind of ugly stepsister, or stepbrother, whatever, the ugly Puma King Platinum 21. I'm not actually sure which one that would compete with, but this is a very interesting concept of a boot, and I am hoping that if it does do really well in the Asian markets, that they bring it over to the US markets for those people who want a little bit of a lighter feel and want the lockdown of a synthetic midfoot with that really nice cushiony area in the forefoot. And my guess is that if these do fit me really well, because I do have a quite wide feet right in this midfoot area, I talk about this a lot in my reviews, and 1 month reviews especially, like the width in this area, if it's suitable for some foot types like mine, which are flatter and wider, I think bringing it over to the US and just replacing the King Platinum 21, I don't think anyone would be mad about it. And I think this boot would actually do super, super well in markets like the United States or like Europe, which I think it is available in Europe now, but especially in the US, where you have wide-footed players that are looking for kind of a combination, that like Mizuno Morelia Neo 3 Beta vibe, and you could easily put this upper on their Puma Ultra sole plate, which is one of the best sole plates in my opinion, like that you can buy, and those ones are awesome. I suppose you could also put a future type sole plate on here as well if you wanted to continue sort of the more conical stud look to it, which could be awesome. So just kind of toying with ideas here, but this is a boot that I'm really excited to try on feet because I do think that if it does fit the width, it could be a really nice option for people who have wider foot types. Stay tuned to the end of the video. After the try on portion, I usually get a pretty good sense of whether these boots are ones that I want to keep or not keep, so just stay tuned. I don't know yet because I haven't filmed that portion of the video yet whether this boot will be for sale or not, but it is a 9US, so stay tuned for that. Let's hop straight into the on-feet portion of the video. I think that's what we're here for, and it's kind of the part that I really enjoy. I love talking about tech specs and new tech in boots, but these are fairly simple from a construction standpoint, and I am really excited to feel sort of what this boot feels like and kind of compare it to the other Puma models on the market that are available in the US. So here we go. All right, fam, here we are in the facility with the Puma King Mirai in the HG variation. Very excited to try these on. This is a boot that I think could be super successful in the United States, especially for wider footed players like myself. But hopefully, based on how they look, they definitely look like they're gonna fit me, but we'll see. Here we go. So I'll get these down. And if you guys are interested in the grip socks that I wear, these are the non-grip version, but there's a link down in the description. You get 10% off if you go through the link. So, and it helps support the channel, which is fantastic. All right, so trying on the Puma King Mirai, here we go. This buttery soft upper, which I'm super stoked about. And here we go. Oh man. Wow, okay, those are really comfortable. One thing I'm noticing already, if you can see, it's about half a thumb's width on the forefoot in the toe area of extra space. So that remains to be kind of talked about a little bit. There is 2 extra lace holes, but for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna lace up those quite yet, just because I wanna get like a raw feeling of what they look like without any extraness to them. But wow, those are really comfortable. Okay, straight away. Get the other shoe out of there, and then here we go. There we go. So that's that second boot here. First things I'm noticing, the upper is really nice and pliable. I was a little concerned about this speed mesh stuff. I never wore the Puma Evo Power Vigor, so I don't know how close this speed mesh is to that one, but this is definitely pliable, and it definitely feels like it's gonna mold really well to your foot. And of course, this kangaroo leather forefoot is unbelievably soft. Wow. Okay, so there's wiggling my toes, and there you go. That's the Puma King Mirai. Really awesome looking football boots. They look super classy. The heel area is really nice. I do think if you are gonna buy these, I would recommend maybe going a half a size down, especially if you have regular, like medium width to thinner feet. I would for sure recommend going half a size down. For me, I might actually go half a size down just because they do have, let's see if I can get a little better view for you guys. So there you go. So it does, I don't like that much space, and because this is a leather forefoot, it's going to expand and it's gonna be a lot bigger if I need it to be. But as far as the fit and feel goes, these are super comfortable. I really rate these on comfort level. They fit really nice. The kind of the bounce up and down is nice. The sole plate feels really good on artificial ground. I know it is technically a hard ground variation, but it does feel really nice underfoot. These boots are really nice, actually. Like I have no complaints about them. I do think they're slightly too big for me. I went usual size 9 US as I showed you guys, but I think I would recommend going half a size down, especially because there is a leather forefoot. So I'm actually considering maybe just either returning these or getting a new pair in an 8.5 and then selling these. So these are officially up for sale. There you go. So these are going to be up for sale as soon as the video drops. These are definitely a boot that I would recommend if you are a size 9 or 9.5. I think you would fit in these just fine. Touch on the ball is actually really, really good. That leather forefoot area and toe box really makes for a nice touch. Yeah, the leather is fantastic. It reminds me a lot of the 442, a lot of the traditional Mizuno boots in the forefoot area, and it's just fantastic. Lateral stability seems to be okay. Obviously, this is a little bit more expensive than something like a 442, so it's gonna be a little bit more responsive, even though the price tag on these is like not amazing in the sense that they are kind of expensive, but I think that just comes down to the build quality and the materials. The heel area is, I do get a lot of lockdown from the heel area, which is awesome. It's a pretty traditional heel construction. I don't feel like there's anything in there that would cause any type of slippage or anything. Obviously, if I were to play in these right now, I'd probably end up with some heel slippage just because they aren't as secure as I want them to be, being about a quarter size to a half a size too big for me. But that is just because I have a lot wider and a lot wider feet, and so I tend to have to go half a size down on some Puma models. These are no different than that. The only thing that I'm kind of frustrated with and annoyed by is that there's a ton of space right there, and then there's, as you can see, the material kind of bows out here as well, and that's something that's just kind of annoying to deal with, but at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. It's just something that's just a little frustrating. So I would say my final thoughts on the Puma King Mirai is, if you can get your hands on a pair and you're looking for this style of football boot, definitely would recommend. I think I wouldn't hesitate to buy these. I think they're a little expensive, but they're definitely a boot that I think is an interesting model to try out if you're not interested in a Mizuno made in Japan model, or if you're not interested in something like a 442, if you want something a little more premium, or with something with a little bit more lockdown in the midfoot. I think these might be a great option for you. Keep in mind, I would go half a size down. That's just my personal recommendation. If you are a regular kind of traditional fit in a 9 US or thinner, I would go half size down, just because that forefoot will expand. It will stretch a little bit, especially forward. So if you are right up against the end of that boot, it will stretch a little bit as you get to break it in and stuff. But for somebody like me who has a wider fit foot, I might actually go half size down for these, just because they're not as snug as I want them to be straight out of the box, which is just one of those things, right? So if you guys are interested in purchasing this pair and you do want this exact pair, you can hit me up at noah.cavanaugh on Instagram, and I'm selling these for retail plus shipping. So you basically are just paying what you would pay at a store, at a local store. So if you're in the US and you don't know how to get these and you want them and you're a size 9 US, definitely let me know and DM me on Instagram and we'll sort it out. So I'll just sell them to you for retail plus whatever the shipping cost is. It's like 10 or 15 bucks. So yeah, so that's awesome. If you like this type of video and you want more kind of classic, interesting boots that aren't available in the US, kind of like the Asics boot that I did a couple months ago, anything else that isn't available in the US, definitely let me know down in the comment section below which boots you want to see. Comment and like the video if you got value from it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.